I'm Wes Talbott, and I'm one of the model designers on the LEGO Ideas Typewriter. So the typewriter is a really cool project coming from the LEGO Ideas platform, and it's essentially as close as we could get to a real typewriter.
LEGO Ideas is our online platform where our fans around the world can submit their idea for a LEGO set. And if they can get 10,000 votes from other LEGO fans, we, in the LEGO Ideas team, will consider it for a real-life LEGO set.
I'm James May, and I am a model designer for LEGO. We wanted to try and get as much functionality in as possible, so we got a lot of mechanical details in it, such as having the keys go down and then bounce back up. The hammer in the middle will hit the paper, and the carriage at the back will slide along, and you can feed real paper into the model as well, which is a really nice detail, I think.
So the first thing I started with this set was really the key function. It was something that we knew we wanted to have all of the keys pressable from the very beginning, and I knew it was probably going to be one of the hardest things to tackle, given that there are 31 keys in total, and getting all of those to press consistently and all of them to trigger the function was really tricky. So I really just started completely outside the shell of the actual typewriter, trying to figure out what the mechanism was going to look like.
So the model isn't based on any specific brand of typewriter, but a colleague at LEGO, he's a huge fan of typewriters, so he let us borrow a bunch of his, and we used them for reference, and it was really useful for the design process.
I didn't know much about typewriters before I started working on this set, and it was really fun actually to look at all the different types of typewriters and do some research on how the actual mechanisms work.
With this model, we took the fan design that Steve had made, and we added the ability to make the hammer go up and down when you press down on the key, and also to have the carriage at the back move along every time you press a key.
We have several check-ins with the fan designers along the way. We'll take their initial model, and then we'll basically create our first sketch model of what we would be proposing. And then we'll have a video call with them and to show them what we've done, get their input, and we have a couple check-ins this way.
So for collaborating with Wes on this model, I'm a fairly new designer, whereas he is a experienced designer.
It was actually the first time I've ever worked so closely with another designer. Oftentimes we work in teams where one person will do a model and then the rest of the team will be able to give input, and then it's that person's job to implement the input. But this time we were actually both working together simultaneously.
I was learning a lot through this process. He was working more on the front end of the model, whereas I was working on the back with the paper feeding mechanism and that sort of area. And then we kind of merged the two together. There are some very cool elements in this set that are new. We've got 1x1 brick with a cross-axle hole through it, and we got that in sand green, and we got a lot of them in this model, so it's a good parts pack if you're needing those elements. There are the bow pieces which were introduced on the Porsche. We have them in sand green as well, and we have the 32 long cross-axle elements. We got 5 of them which were originally in the flowers, so this will be another opportunity to get them.
It's quite tricky to combine Technic with system, so there's a lot of funky little ways that we have to build the Technic bits as a chunk and then find a way to fit it into this system shell around it. In addition to that, there's all sorts of different directions to get the right shape of the shell of the typewriter, so it was a really fun challenge getting it to be as functional as possible but still have that iconic shape of a typewriter shell. I think my favorite part of the set is the part where you're looking down on the top and you see all the type bars lined up. It really looks like the same way that all the type bars on a real typewriter would look.
In the model, there's a nice Easter egg from the fan builder who submitted the idea through LEGO Ideas. He wanted to have "Never give up on your dreams" in initials on the back. That was his nice contribution to that.
A lot of typewriters have 2 colors of ink, both red and black. To represent that, we've actually created a new textile, which I think looks pretty accurate to how the actual ribbon looks. Because we've designed the typewriter with actual paper, we knew we wanted to have something included, and we actually got the current owner, Thomas Kjær Christensen, to write a letter. So you'll find in this booklet that comes with the set actually 43 different languages of his letter.
Our graphic designer came up with a really cool typography for the set of keys that makes it look really nice and clean, and he also designed the system logo on the front and the system and play logo that's on the back. I would say for kids who are fans of LEGO that the best way to experience LEGO is to be building your own things, like using your imagination and creating something new. That's how you get the most out of your bricks.
There's so much that you can do creatively and technically with LEGO and really express yourself and learn new things.